Going on, everybody? It's Mr. Do It All, and in this video, well, actually in today's videos, we're wrapping up our NFL preview. It's a sad day, but it's also a great feeling because tomorrow night we get our first NFL action, our first NFL regular season action. We got the New England Patriots versus the Kansas City Chiefs on Thursday night. My God, I'm so excited for the NFL season. Now, today that would make 7 videos today that I have to finish up. I have to get through it. Just the Bengals, the Ravens, the Steelers for the North. The North would be done. And then we'd do the AFC West. And the AFC West, we'd start with the Chargers, move to the Broncos, go to the Chiefs, finish up with the Raiders. Now in this video right here, we're going to be talking about the Cincinnati Bengals. A team that I guess you can say regressed pretty hard last year. I don't think Andy Dalton is a franchise quarterback, but I think he is an above-average quarterback, average to above average. Not too spectacular, doesn't have a big arm, but he gets the job done. He's been to the playoffs basically every year that he's been a starting quarterback. And they have one of the best receivers in the league, in A.J. Green. A very good tight end if he can stay healthy, and Tyler Eifert. Their offensive line is pretty okay. And they brought in Joe Mixon from Oklahoma to come be possibly their starting running back this year. Jeremy Hill doesn't really catch passes out of the backfield, and Gio Bernard doesn't run well between the tackles, and Joe Mixon is a great blend between both of those guys. Has a couple off-field concerns, most notably while he was at Oklahoma, he punched a woman straight in the face. They also drafted John Ross, speedy guy. I think he ran like a 4.24 or something in the combine to go across from A.J. Green. He might miss a couple games. He might even miss his whole rookie year. Who knows? They drafted Carl Lawson and Jordan Willis to help them with some to be edge rushers, as that's something that they've had a weakness at the last couple seasons, to go opposite of Carlos Dunlap, who's a phenomenal, tall, big, athletic end. I think he's like 6'6" or something. But he's fantastic at what he does. Now they have Geno Atkins in the middle. He's probably one of the best defensive tackles in the league. And their linebacking corps, they did lose Vontaze Burfict again for, I guess you can say, a dirty hit. But in my eyes, that's a clean hit, what he did in a preseason game. If nobody's seen it, make sure try to look it up. Vontaze, I mean, that's hard considering that he has a lot of those types of suspensions, just dirty hits. But yeah, overall, I don't see this team being a playoff team, but they could make some noise inside their own division. I mean, last year they were 6-9-1, and the year before that, I think they even won the division. They were probably a couple plays away from beating the Steelers in the divisional round. Of course, we all remember that Vontaze Burfict laid a nasty hit on Antonio Brown. So, you know, Vontaze doing Vontaze things. But yeah, a lot of Bengal fans probably don't like Marvin Lewis. He's been around for so long, but he's never really taken the team to new heights, I guess you can say. Hasn't won a playoff game while he's been there. I mean, maybe one of their best shots was the year that Carson Palmer completely tore his ACL in that playoff game against Pittsburgh. But, I mean, you know, we'll never know what could have happened. I think they had Chad Johnson and T.J. Houshmandzadeh during those years. I think that was probably one of their best chances to make a run, and Carson Palmer never really got back to that form that he was at with Cincinnati. Now here we go. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at their schedule. I mean, they didn't really lose anybody huge. Maybe Andrew Whitworth to play left tackle, and Kevin Zeitler. That's really it. Ray Maluga, and lost Rex Burkhead to the Patriots. Underused here. Andre Smith came back to them, and they brought in Kevin Minter, who was formerly with the Arizona Cardinals. Now, looking at their schedule here, now we do know that they play in the AFC North. It's one of the toughest divisions. Teams going up against each other team-wise, especially the Bengals, Ravens, and Steelers. I think the Browns won't be far behind in a couple years. It looks like they're gonna be taking on their division games, the AFC South and the NFC North. It looks like. And their 2 place games will probably be Buffalo and Buffalo and Denver. Those are the two other teams that finished in third place in the conference. Now jumping to their schedule here, they start the season off on Sunday. This Sunday. Man, what a time to be alive! They start their season off this Sunday against Baltimore. I think they'll lose that game. They do play each other tough. AJ Green always somehow makes a phenomenal catch in one of these games against Baltimore. He's a fantastic talent. I do think it'll come down to the last minute, possibly a field goal. Justin Tucker is one of the best kickers in the league, probably the best. He might kick a 60-yarder. Then they got Houston on Thursday night on a short week. I'm gonna give that one to Houston. Houston strong. At Green Bay, that's a loss. I can see them going 0-3 to start the season. At Cleveland, I think they'll beat Cleveland. It'll be a tough game because I think Cleveland's going to be pretty solid this year. Buffalo, I think they'll beat Buffalo. Buffalo's not a good team. Hit their bye week. At Pittsburgh, that's a loss. Versus the Colts, that's a win. At Jacksonville, that's a win. At Tennessee, I think that's a loss. At Denver, that's a toss-up game. I think those two teams are evenly matched. So, versus Cleveland, I'm gonna leave the division games toss-ups. Just because this division plays each other so tough. Then they play Pittsburgh on Monday night. I think Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh might be the only team that they definitely get swept by. Versus Chicago, that's a W. At Minnesota, I think they're evenly matched with Minnesota, so that'll be a toss-up. Versus Detroit, I think that's a win. Finishing off the season at Baltimore, I think that's a loss. Looking at this overall team schedule, they have a pretty tough schedule, honestly. So I could see them. Their best overall record could be 8-8. I don't think they're competing for a playoff berth. I think that they need another year. I honestly think that they need to go in another direction with the head coach, though. Bring in some fresh blood. That's just what I think. But overall, I think this team is rebuilding. They're like in a mini rebuild. Like, we're going to rebuild for the next 2 years, like this year and next year. So they can have some strong drafts and maybe bring in some free agents that can make some noise. 8-8 could be their best record, and I can see them falling to 6-10 as their worst record, maybe 5-11. That'll just about do it. Baltimore's up next. Pittsburgh after that. Oh my God, it's NFL Sunday this week. Can't wait. Make sure to check out my other videos. I've probably done your favorite team already. That'll do it. Mr. Doodle's out. Peace.